Hello, today we're going to do Module 7, Lesson 6. Our objective is that we're going to draw polygons with specified attributes to solve problems. Please write this on your paper. We need to know what an attribute is. Let me find my pencil. And oops, that's why I want my pencil. An attribute is basically a characteristic. Okay, so it's a characteristic that describes something. Okay, so it's very specific. Let's say specific. Write that in capital letters. Specific. It's very specific. Okay, so when we talk about attributes, we're just basically talking about a very specific characteristic. So for instance, if we're talking about the attributes of my glasses, we would say that my glasses are green. Okay? We could even say my glasses are dark green. Now, clear this. Move on. Pencil. We're going to start with our application problem. Now, in class, we've talked about this several times, so this should not be anything new, and you should be quite good at this. Frankie says that all squares are rectangles, but not all rectangles are squares. Do you agree with this statement? Why or why not? It says now we have to draw diagrams to support our statement. Okay, so first of all, let's make a list. Okay, so these are rectangles. Attributes of rectangles. These are going to be my attributes of squares, and this is going to be my diagram. Okay, so first of all, let's draw a picture over the name. Usually we think of it as long and a rectangle is long and skinny, and the square has this. Okay, so let's talk about rectangles. I'm going to change my pencil to a finer pencil. Now rectangles, what do rectangles have? Well, they have two sets of parallel sides. I hope you're making this too. What do squares have? Do squares have two sets of parallel sides? Two sets of parallel sides. Okay. What about their angles? This one has 1, 2, 3, 4 right angles. Remember what a right angle is? We can take the corner of a piece of paper and we could put it in the corner and it fits perfectly. So often we see it like this. So this one has 4 right angles. 4 right angles. What about squares? Do they have that too? Yep, they'll have 1, 2, 3, 4 right angles. Okay, so far they're exactly the same. So it's different. How many sides? 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. So they're both quadrilaterals. Quadrilaterals. Or quadrilateral. Quadrilateral. Okay? Now, what about the sides? Anything in particular? Is there any rule that says anything about rectangle sides? No, that just that they have to be parallel. We need rules about squares. Yes. All the sides have to be what? Are equal. Remember when we were doing area? If we knew one length of one square, of one side of one side, one length of one side, we knew all the lengths of the sides, didn't we? Because we know that all sides are equal on a square. Okay, so let's go back to the question. Frankie says that all squares are rectangles, but not all rectangles are squares. Do you agree? Yes, I would agree. Because this follows all the same rules as this. But this one has one more rule. This one more rule prevents this from always being this. So rectangles cannot always be squares. But I like to say that a square is just a specific or a certain kind of a rectangle. Kind of like a German Shepherd is a kind of a dog. They're all dogs. The German Shepherd is a specific breed. This is sort of a specific breed of rectangles. Okay, so yes, why can a square be a rectangle? Well, yes it is. Yes, because, I don't want to start with because. All squares can be rectangles. That's our beginning part of the sentence. Now here's our link, because they follow the same rules, or they have the same attributes. Let's say that. They have the same attributes. Rectangles can only be squares. When can a rectangle only be a square? It can only be a square when all sides are equals. All sides are equal. Rectangles can only be squares if all of their sides are equal. Good. Okay, moving on. Now you have a shape here. I'm kind of excited I was able to draw this with my computer. We need to list all the attributes that we see on this shape. So let's start with the number of sides. How many sides does it have? 1, 2, 3, 4. If it's a 4-sided polygon, it would be a quadrilateral. Okay, so it's got 4 sides. Anything else that you notice? Any parallel lines? Well, is this line right here and this line right here parallel? I would say so. So how many sets? But is this line and this line parallel? No, because we know that these are going to cross. So it has 1 set of parallel lines. You know what I think I want to do? I think I'm going to put dots over here so we can count how many attributes we can do. Okay. Can I come up with anything else? Anything about angles? Any right angles? Well, if I stick my paper right here, I would see that this is a right angle. And this is a right angle. Okay. So how many right angles does it have? 2 right angles. Okay. Anything else? Now, if I were to stick my piece of paper on, go ahead and put your piece of paper on the screen and see about this angle right here. Is this angle greater than or less than a right angle? When I stick my paper on it, I see that it's a lot smaller. So I'm going to say it has 1 angle less than a right angle. Okay, what about that other angle? What about this angle right here? Put your paper on this corner. Put your corner right here, one line on this side. Let's see what happens. I suspect that your paper is going right along this dot, approximately, and you're seeing that this sticks out past the edge of the paper. If that's the case, then that angle is greater than the right angle. So we have 1 angle greater than a right angle. Okay, anything else that we can say? I think that pretty much covers this one. I see we've covered the parallel lines, we've covered all the different numbers of sides, we've covered right angles, we've covered greater than right angles, less than right angles, we've covered a lot of things. So we've come up with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 different attributes for this shape. Now remember, an attribute is just a specific characteristic. We've said that 1 angle is less than a right angle, 1 angle is larger than a right angle, and 2 that are right angles. Okay, on your homework today, you're going to be comparing and explaining attributes of different shapes, polygons. And you're going to explain how you know. Okay? Good luck with your homework. I will see you soon.